Hello everyone, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Miss Lomo, a grade 4 teacher from Accra, Ghana. Now in today's video, we're going to look at how to use Google Forms to create online tests or quizzes for your learners. So whether you want to do subjective test or objective test, we're going to look at how to use Google Forms to do that. Now there are numerous ways you can access Google Forms from your Chrome browser. You can simply go to your Drive, okay? You go click on New, More, Google Forms, and then you go to a blank form or from a template. Or alternatively, you can just type forms.google.com and you enter. When you enter it, it's going to give you a new page and you're going to see templates that you can work with. But I like to build my forms from scratch. So we're going to pick the blank template. Now when your template opens, this is what it's going to look like. It's a blank form. So I customize it to suit my taste. So I go to the theme button, I click on it, and I choose an image for a banner or a header. So when you open, you're going to get options of images to choose from. Either you pick one from here or you upload from your computer. I'm going to pick from here and I'm going to insert it. You can also choose to change your theme color or your background color, but I like what I'm seeing so far, so I'm going to keep it as it is. I'm going to close this. Now the next thing I do is to go to my settings and customize it. This is a multiple choice form, so I'm going to collect email addresses. I'm going to limit to one response. I don't need this because I don't want them to see or edit after submission. I'm going to go to presentation. If there are not enough questions, if the questions are a lot, I choose a show progress bar. But if the questions are just a few, I just leave this as it is, and I customize my confirmation message. So I'm going to customize it. I like what I'm seeing, and so I'm going to go to quizzes. Since this is a quiz, we're going to make this a quiz, and I want the computer to release the response immediately after each submission. So I'm going to keep this as it is, and I'm going to also keep these as it is. They're going to see their missed questions, their correct answers, and their point values. The next thing is to click on Save. From settings, I move straight to change the title. So since this is a multiple choice, it's going to be in English. I'm going to give the subject. I'm going to put the subject here. So prepositions. 1. And I duplicate it here. Just have to click and it duplicates. And I also add a form description. Usually it's the instruction. Answer all questions. Now since this form is collecting your email addresses, I'm going to leave this as it is. And I'm also going to add a new question here. This time it's going to be their names. So I'm just going to write full name. And the computer automatically changes it to short answer. I'm going to make this also required and leave the points to nothing. Now the next thing I do is to add a new question. So you can add a new question from this button here, or you can duplicate. So I'm going to add a new question. Now when I add a new question, I just type the question that I want. The book is the table. So I'm going to give options on, off, to, and for. So they are going to select the answer that they want. Remember, this is a strictly multiple choice question, so we're going to leave this as it is. And I'm going to go straight to the answer key. What I'm going to do at the answer key is I'm going to choose the correct answer. So on is the correct answer, and I'm also going to increase the points to 2 points, and I'll click on done. Now you can leave a feedback if you want to give your students feedback, but I'm not going to do that, so click on done. Now because this is a strictly multiple choice form, I'm going to duplicate. You can add a new question from here, but I'm just going to duplicate because all my questions are going to follow the same format. I'm also going to make this a required question. Now I'm going to duplicate. Now I'm going to move to the next question, number 2. He jumped into the pool. Jump dash. Oh, sorry. The pool. Now I'm going to change the answers. Okay, he jumped on the pool, off the pool, to the pool. I'm going to make this into the pool. The next thing I do is to go to my answer key. And the first question, this was the correct answer. Now, the correct answer is here. So I have to go and change it. So I'm going to my answer key. And I'm going to click on this. And then I will uncheck this. Now, this is also 2 marks. Keep it as it is and click on done. Now, I'm going to give them the third question. You can give them an image for them to identify, choose the correct answer. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to make this the plant is dash the vase. So what I do is I click on this button and it's going to open this window here. I click on browse. It's going to open my computer where the files are, and I select the exact location where the file is, and I choose the image I want. So I'm going to scroll through. Now it's opened to my download. That's where the file is. But if it's not open to where the file is, you have to click or open to the direct folder. So I'm going to choose from the images here. Which one are we picking? Which one are we picking? Which one are we picking? There are a lot of, yes, I like this one. And open. And I open, click on open. It's going to go straight here to load it. So they're going to see this and they're going to pick the correct answer. So I'm going to change the answer and make this in. So I'm going to go back to my answer key. And I'm going to select the correct answer because the computer is going to generate their responses right after they submit. So you have to make sure that you're selecting the correct answer. So in the pool, and I'll uncheck this in the vase. Sorry, I'll uncheck this. I'm going to keep this 2 points and I'm going to click on done. So I'm okay with the questions that I have so far, just 3 questions. The next thing I do is I'm going to click on this preview button, like the eye. It's going to show you, it's going to open to a new page. You're going to see how the form is going to look like when your students open it. So this is what you're going to see. The title, email address, full name, and they're going to see it like this. So when they finish answering, they're going to click on submit, and the computer is going to generate their response for them. So I'm going to close this and go back to my form. Now, if you are done and you're satisfied, you're going to click on send. Now, if you're sending it to the email address of the student, you just type the student's email here. You can include the form or just invite them, whatever it is. You're going to get a notification, you're going to open it, and they're going to fill out the form. If you want to send the link to your Google Classroom, just click here. You copy the link, then you go to your Google Classroom, and then you paste it there. Now, since this form has saved into your drive, if you want to keep the form for another day or save it and send it another day, you just close it, okay? Go to your Google Drive and you're going to get the form from there and you're going to send it from there. Now, one good thing about Google Forms is that it's saved directly into your drive, and you can access your drive on your phone or on your computer. So if you want to check the responses that your learners are given to you to see if they understand the lesson, you can just open to the Google Drive on your computer, on your phone, look for the form there, open it, and you can check out their responses. Now, if you don't want to use Google Forms for objective or multiple choice quizzes, but instead you want your learners to give you short answers, a paragraph, or even show working for a question, there's a way around it. Let's look at that. So you open to a blank form using the steps I gave earlier, and you're going to go over the process again. You're going to customize. Okay, you click on this button. We're going to choose an image. This time we're going to choose the image from my computer. So I'm just going to click on upload. When I click on upload, I'm going to click on browse. When I click on browse, it's going to open my computer file, and I'm going to pick any image that I want as a header or a banner. So I'm going to pick this. I already did this with CANVA, and if you've not watched my video on how I create slides within CANVA, you can check it out. So I'm going to open, and it's going to load here. Once it's finished loading, I'm going to click on done. When I click on done, it's going to appear on my forms just the way I like it. As I said earlier, you can choose to customize the theme or the background color, but I like what I'm seeing so far, so I'm just going to keep it just the way it is, and I'm going to close this. Now that you've customized and you like how it's looking, the next thing is to go to settings. So in the settings, we are going to customize it so it will fit the subjective style that we want it to. So I'm going to collect email addresses, still limited to one response. I'm going to leave this because I don't want them to do this. And I'm going to go to presentation. And the presentation, you can show progress bar if there are a lot of questions and you want them to see their progress. You can also shuffle question order depending on the level of the learners. And I'm going to give them a confirmation message again. You are awesome. The next thing I'm going to do is to go to quizzes. Now with the quizzes, I'm still going to make this a quiz because yes, it's a quiz. Now, this is where we have to customize. Because this is a subjective test, which means that the learner is going, or the student is going to give their own answers, please check this. It means you are going to review the essay or the short answer that they are going to give before you release a response to them. Now, if you make this, if you choose this and you put in your own answer, if the learner doesn't give the answer the exact way that you did, the system is going to mark it wrong. So you're going to choose later after manual review, and you're going to choose these ones too, and you're going to click on. The next thing we are going to do after working on the settings is to give it a title. So you can use this form for your math test, you can use it for your science test, for your comprehension, whichever one that you choose to. We are going to make this a math exercise. So we're going to write mathematics. And I'm going to duplicate here. The form description is going to be the instructions, so answer all questions. Now, the form is collecting their email address. So the next thing I'm going to do is to make them give me their full names, just in case the learner is using an email address that's not his, so you can easily identify. So the system has automatically changed it to short answer. I'm going to make this required and leave it with no. So the next thing we are going to do, we are going to add our questions. Now this is a subjective form, so it means that the learner will be inputting their own answers. So I'm going to add a question here, and question 1, find the product so the learner is going to put in their own answer. So in this case, I'm going to this side, I'm going to click short answer. So it means that the learner will do the calculation and then put their answer there. So I'll go to answer key. Now with this, I am not going to add any correct answer because I want the learner to put in their own answer. So I'm going to increase the points and click on done. Remember, do not add any answer because you want them to calculate and give you their own answer. So you're going to click on done. Then we are going to add another question. And they're going to subtract So they are going to give you their short answer, okay? And we're going to go to answer. Now I'm going to close it. I don't want this. I'm going to close this. And I'm going to go to answer key. I want them to input their own answer. So I'm going to leave this as it is. And I'm going to just increase the point here and click on done. So I'm going to add another question. And this time I want them to show the working. I want them to show me what they've done. So I'm going to make this, find the product. So what it means is that they are going to show the working. Now, how do I want them to do this? I want them to upload the file or the sheet that they have worked on. So I'm going to click on that and click on File Upload. Okay, so what it means is that they are going to show the working on a sheet of paper and take a picture of it and send it to me. So I'm not going to allow any specific file type because I don't know how they're going to do that. I'm leaving that to them, but I'm going to limit the number of files to 1. I just want them to work on one sheet and upload it to me. But if you want them to work on multiple sheets, then you're going to choose maybe 5 or 10. And I'm going to leave the maximum file size to 10 megabytes. You can also increase it from here. Okay, and I'm going to go to my answer key, but I'm not going to add any feedback. I'm just going to increase it, and I'm going to click on done. So and I'm going to make this required. Let me make this also required. And make this also required. Okay. So what it means is that they are going to upload how they did the multiplication so that I'll see it and give them marks. So once this is done and I'm happy with it, I'll go to my preview, okay, and I'm going to see how it will look like when the learner opens it. So this is how it's going to look like. Find the product, so they're going to give their own answer, okay, and then they'll submit it. So I'm going to close that and go back to the form. Now, assuming they were going to give an essay, they're going to write an essay, it's going to follow the same format. They're going to write the answer, just that in this case, instead of choosing short answer, you're going to choose maybe a paragraph, okay, so that they can input whatever they want to do, and they're going to submit it for you, and you're going to grade it, and you're done. If it's a comprehension, you put in the text, they read it, and then they answer the questions that you've given. Now that we are done with this and we are satisfied, we are going to send it to our students. You're going to follow the same process like I did earlier to send it to your students. Now, when your learners finish answering the subjective test, let's look at how you can manually look at it and grade them before you send the answers back to them. Like I mentioned earlier, if the learner or the student submits the work, it goes into your Google Drive, So when you open your Google Drive and you look for the math Google form, you'll be able to get it. And when you open it, this time, you go to responses. So you're going to see what the learner has done, okay? So you can either mark it question by question or individual. And this will be if a lot of them did the work, you can just pick individually and mark it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark it individually, and I'm going to check this is correct. So this is how you're going to mark. So to tell the system that this is the correct answer, you just have to increase the marks, okay? You can either choose to save straight away, or you can grade everything and then you'll save. So I'm just going to check this, save. And then I'm going to go to this one. I'm going to open it. Now when I open it and I check through and I see that it's just what I want, I'm going to grade it. So because this is not a real test, I just uploaded any picture. But if the learner uploads a picture, you would see it, okay? So I'm just going to go back to the form. I like it. I'm just going to increase the marks here. It shows that I have marked it. Then I'm going to click save. So when I click on save, this is what I'm going to see. It means that all is correct, and then I'm going to release the score. So when I release the score, if a lot of students did the work, okay, I'm not going to take this. I'm going to take only the students whose score I am releasing. But in this case, it's just me, so I'm just going to send mail and release. And the learner will be notified that the teacher has sent the... Now there's one thing I forgot. If there's any feedback or correction that you want your learner to be aware of, you add it here. Add individual feedback. So if it's an essay and you grade it and you have some suggestions or you have some comments, you just put it in the add individual feedback section, and the learner will get the feedback and work on it. Now play around with the forms to see how you can creatively use it to organize your quizzes and your tests. Now you would learn with practice, okay? So the first time might be, you've not used it before, you might be a little bit, all over the place, but once you get a hang over it, you'll be able to use it effectively in your classroom, in your online classes, and even in your face-to-face classes. If you've not watched any of my videos, you can find the link here or maybe there. And if you've not subscribed to my channel yet, you can subscribe by clicking here, or just click on the subscribe button and also click on the notification button so that you can get notifications anytime I upload a new video. Till I come your way with another video, it is Miss Lomu signing out. 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 Bye!